Welcome back, everybody. Mental health matters. The holidays can be a particularly difficult time for those who are struggling, but it is important that everyone knows suicide can be prevented.
And it's really vital to know the warning signs, what to say, and also what to do for someone who needs your help. We're here to talk more about this. It's something sometimes people just get confused about with licensed clinical social worker Stephen McCaddy and Grace Grinnell, who's a program associate for suicide education and support. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for inviting us.
This is a super important topic. There are a bunch of numbers out there. You've got 211, you've got 988. Where does someone begin if they think they're having a problem? Where do you advise them to call?
You know, definitely you can call 988, where they're trained, very compassionate crisis workers
Sure.
who can help work you through and let you know what to do. 211 has mobile crisis, so they could actually come out to your house.
I see. I
and
did
do
not know that.
which
That's
is,
really good.
Also really helpful. Do you have any other?
988 call or text, and it's English or Spanish.
That's like, so 988 for just, we've done stories on this, but it's sort of like the 911 only for mental health.
Correct.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to talk about suicide. It's really uncomfortable. And yet, what do we do if we suspect that one of our loved ones might be considering taking their own life?
So connection is the #1 intervention, and listen to what they're saying. Don't jump to problem solving. They have a story, so you ask what's going on, you ask what their story is. As they talk, you might eventually talk about, let's call 988, 911. But the biggest part is to just hear what they're saying without necessarily trying to solve anything for them.
Right, well, that's the point. We're not really trying to solve the problems. We're trying to get them the help that they need, which is the help that we can't provide for them.
Right.
Correct.
And part of it is asking a question. We have a lot of, teens have reported that sometimes the parent will say, well, why didn't you tell me? And it's because, you never asked.
Right.
So we should ask, are you thinking of killing yourself? Because
Yes.
that seems like there's a myth that people say if you say that, you put it into their head.
It's totally not true.
Totally
and
not
so, you need to ask the question, and you have to be direct. Like, are you thinking about suicide? Not saying something like, oh, you're not going to do something stupid, are you? Where, that could be interpreted any sort of way. So, need to be direct when you ask the question. And then it's important to have these conversations and to feel more comfortable talking about suicide. I think it's a hard, topic to talk about, but, in the U.S., one person dies every 11 minutes by suicide.
That is just a horrible statistic.
Right.
I mean, especially with, I think it's even, we struggle so much more when it's one of our kids, and yet we're seeing suicide rates rise in teens. What are the signs parents need to look for?
So isolation all of a sudden, giving stuff away, starting to talk about suicide, possibly not having plans for the future, trouble at school, trouble at home. Teenagers, they have so much that they haven't encountered yet. Even like a relationship breakup could be something that, it hurts for everybody, but for a teen, it might be their first time, and that can be something that causes them to think about, is it worth it? And so any kind of major change, and then ask the question.
Grace, you just said every 11 minutes someone takes their life. Is it a more particularly higher volume of people that takes their life during the holiday season, or is there a time of year that, or it's just generally a broad?
I think that figure was through the whole year, but
Right.
Holiday time can be hard for some people.
Sure.
And some people, it could be a little bit because there is more connection and family, so they may feel less isolated.
Okay.
But holidays can also add a lot of stress. We put a lot of pressure, especially on parents.
It's
have
the
kids.
most wonderful time of the year.
It's not always.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And I think we need to remember to take care of ourselves and give ourselves permission. I think especially, parents sometimes think they have to go and do everything and make everything perfect, and they forget to say, it's okay if it's not perfect.
Right.
I can take some time for myself, and, what are some coping skills that, you can use to kind of help your own mental health.
And we only have a few seconds left, but there's hope, right?
There is hope. There's the Lived Experience Committee. When we first introduced ourselves, everybody said their name, something they had, just where they worked, something they had to do with suicide, and then without fail, everyone said something like, and can you believe that? And so, and can you believe that I'm an author, a playwright? Mine was, and can you believe that I'm a singer? And while everybody's doing that, I'm thinking, why wouldn't we believe that these greatnesses are within us? So there's hope, and
There's hope.
you don't know what you don't know what's next.
Steve, Grace, we can't thank you enough for being on the show.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
again, 211-988, those are very important numbers that you should have in your arsenal if you're thinking about doing something.
And you can learn more about scripts, what to say, what to do at home, preventsuicidect.org. And there's also 988lifeline.org, 211ct.org, or just call. But there's a lot more help than there used to be, so definitely get it.
All right.
Thank you
you
so
guys
much.
so much. We so appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, still ahead on Great Day Connecticut.